My first heist in this game went something like this. Huh? 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 What the heck am I supposed to be doing? I got this drill set up here, but it just keeps breaking all the time. Are we supposed to just be sitting around shooting people while we wait for this thing? Wolf, what do you think about all this? Oh, okay, yeah, I see, that makes sense. So then you open up the vault door, and there's another vault door? And then once you get that one open, well, where's all the money? Isn't this supposed to be a bank or something? Do I have to open up these deposit boxes? Man, this shit takes forever! This is stupid. Pretty soon I realized that the game would get a whole lot easier if I just joined other people and let them do all the hard work. So shortly after, I joined somebody else's game. And this guy, he was ready to rob a friggin' bank, baby.
Enemy spotted.
What the fuck is this? After completing my first real heist, I was like, alright, yeah, this is pretty cool. But where do we go from here? Well, I'm glad you asked, mister. Eventually, you start playing on some of the crazier heists in the game that go way further than just plain old banks. You got busting into rich people's houses, cooking meth out in the forest, nuclear research facilities, jumping out of a fucking plane. Hell, I don't even think we're stealing anything on this one.
Oh, you better watch out, mister, I'll go get you.
Bonk! Bonk! You start going up in the difficulty settings and seeing some of the new enemy types that the game has to throw at you. Like the taser enemy, who stuns you with a zoopy zap, and then usually just dies immediately afterwards. Or the bulldozer enemy, who has the highest amount of health out of anyone in the game. It's gonna take a hell of a lot... okay, never mind. And then there's the shit, I can't remember the last one, but he's probably not important anyways. You start learning about, holy shit!
You wear that shit in your pants proudly, like a badge of honor.
And then you start customizing your loadout a little bit more too. A lot of the guns that are locked off in the start of the game actually start rolling in pretty quickly. You start slapping some new modifications on your guns, unlocking some new skills, and even putting on a cool new mask.
What the fuck is that?
And then, if you're anything like me, you will have found out about a little heist called Hoxton Breakout.
Look at this. I'm rich. It's payday, fellas. I said it's fucking payday, motherfucker.
Our old pal Hoxton from the first Payday game ended up in jail, and it's up to us to go bust him out of prison. In other words, we gotta get Hoxton back! Now this heist is my favorite for a couple of reasons, not the least of which being the 10-minute live-action trailer that came out alongside it.
It's alright. I came.
Now, the heist itself has two parts to it. The first part has us loading up Hawks into the truck and clearing out various obstacles across the city block while blasting through waves of cops.
Well, fuck me sideways. It's the motherfucking Payday gang.
The second part involves us busting straight into the FBI headquarters in order to acquire some top secret information on whoever sold out Hawks in the first place.
There's the entrance. Don't pussyfoot around. Knock that front door down. Fucking nice one.
Now, what I find to be really cool about this heist is that you can pick up these key cards that can either be used as shortcuts to speed up certain parts of it, or you can use it to open up supply areas, like the armory. It's a nice change of pace on the usual plan of just waiting for a drill to open up a door or something. And one of the main reasons I ended up playing a ton of Hoxton Breakout is because, back in 2015, it used to be one of the best sources of EXP in the entire game. Okay, look, I know there was rats, but come on, I'm not gonna cook meth for 12 hours only for the host to disconnect and ruin everything. Oh my god, why? So long story short, Hoxton Breakout represents everything I like about this game. It's got exciting gameplay, a great premise, hefty rewards, and pizzazz. It's a 10 out of 10 experience. And then, after grinding my way up to level 100, and after scaling through the infamous ranks, and after playing countless DLC heists, and after a couple hundred hours of drilling a friggin' door later, I kinda just got bored with the game. But then again, that's kinda to be expected after putting so much time into one game. Though I will say I got way more of a time investment out of this game than I initially thought I would. But for me, it was never too much about the gameplay itself. Sure, Death Wish heists and making crazy new loadouts and whatnot are all enjoyable, but I can only tolerate playing the same levels and drilling the same drills so many times in a row. For those of you playing with a dedicated group of friends out there, you're probably going to get a lot more mileage out of this game than a primarily solo guy like me. And of course, I've skimmed over a lot of details, but hopefully you'll understand where I'm coming from a little bit better. So what made me stick around with Payday for as long as I did? It's because the game has character. From the unique roster of crazy heisters, to the over-the-top, bombastic cop-blasting action, and even to the player base itself, Payday 2 has a hell of a lot more charm than a lot of other cooperative games out there. How do I put this into perspective? Maybe something like this. Is he just gonna do the same shit he did in that Hoxton video? What the fuck?
Robbing banks with your friends is fun. Am I a criminal? I don't think so. Everyone needs a job, right? We all need a payday.
Okay, Houston. Time to get my payday. Yeah. Die! Yeah! Everybody needs a job, right? Alright, let's plan this out tactically. This spot right here? This is the money zone. No, it's not the boner zone. Okay, guys, trust me on this one. The money is here. No? Yes? I feel like I would be doing the game a disservice if I didn't talk about our good old pal Bane. Bane is essentially the mastermind behind all of these heists. The guy behind the radio giving the orders and whatnot. They easily could have just made him the type of character who's all like, I'm a criminal, no fun allowed during my bank robbery. But he actually has a surprising amount of personality.
Are you nuts, Vlad? These are live nukes. This is an FBI branch
box office, so you really, really, really want to be quiet. We're in the lion's den. I messed up. It's sitting in hydrogen chloride. I'm 79% sure.
Where are you getting these numbers from? A lot of the later heists have this other guy named Locke, essentially replacing Bane and his role. And I think Locke is an alright character, but he's just not the same, you know?
I don't care if you've got a shinny up a wall like fucking Spider-Man. Look everywhere for that third pellet. Come on, what's fucking wrong with you?
Rest in peace, my boy. And do you guys remember when they made a battle royale for Payday 2?
Once off the train, you need to find a weapon quickly, as it's kill or be killed.
I don't remember who came up with it, but when we saw it, it all fit together.
Okay, this was actually an April Fool's joke. But at least they didn't ask us to fork over any cash, right?
Fork.
The comically large fork will be available for $69.99.
Nice.
Nice.
There's also a lot of entertainment that comes from the players themselves, too. Can I get a CHAAAINS in the chat, boys?
I haven't felt the touch of a woman in months.
Here we go.
If I ever meet a cloaker in real life, I'm beating the shit out of his family.
What if he has a hot mom?
And of course, I couldn't forget about my favorite part of the game. The ragdolls. You know what? Maybe we should just get back to talking about the game itself.
Are we rushing in? Or are we going sneaky-beaky like?
I know what you're thinking. What if I want to rob a bank, but also don't want to become a domestic terrorist in the process? Well, fortunately, there's an alternative, and it's called Stealth. A cooperative stealth video game? With up to 4 players online? Well, that sounds like a great idea, right? Right?
The pain I feel is immeasurable. I am but a mere mortal. How can such a lowly being, such as I, face the impossible tasks ahead of me? No man has ever been able to withstand the torture. No living soul alive on this planet today brave enough to overcome these trials. Hear my despair, heed my warning, and please, as long as you remain on this earth,
never join a Payday 2 public stealth lobby. You know why there aren't many online multiplayer stealth games out there? It's because it's a fundamentally flawed concept. You can't trust 3 random strangers to be as sneaky as you are. One of the positive aspects about having multiple people in a stealth mission is that you can get the objectives done really quickly if you have people in the right places. What ends up happening most of the time, however, is that you and your crew will go in and somebody will have already triggered all 4 pages within the first minute, completely out of your control. You could even be on the last part of the heist, and one guy will be doing the objective, and every other member of the crew just has to sit back, kick up their feet, and not get caught. And and someone still ends up getting spotted and ruining the whole thing anyways. It creates a situation where, if you're not the greatest at stealth on the team, your best option is to sit at the start and do nothing the whole time. That's no fun at all! I don't like being put into a scenario where the potential benefits of me helping out are outweighed by the risk of me ruining everything. And some people do this thing where they'll have a public lobby open, but as soon as you try and join, you just get kicked instantly.
Why are you playing this game?
Let's see just how fast our host can restart the game. And then, even after all that, even if you play absolutely perfectly, the game can still do you dirty. So, long story short, don't play public stealth heists. The game simply isn't designed for them. However, I do think that there's something to be said about the solo stealth experience that Payday 2 has to offer. Now, I don't think it's nearly as good as some of these other stealth-focused titles, but considering the fact that it's an action game that is occasionally pretending to be a stealth game, it's actually not that bad. Also, as a quick side note, I haven't talked about mods at all, but if there's one mod that you should get for stealth, it's the Tactical Leaning mod. It lets you lean around corners in a very tactic-cool fashion. Plus it makes me feel like J.C. Denton. The loadout you make for stealth doesn't really matter. Just grab all of this shit, and then whichever guns have the best concealment, and you're good to go. You do get some extra tools to help you out, like body bags, motion sensors, and ECMs. An electronic countermeasure is an electronic device designed to trick radar, sonar, and other detection systems. Easing your way towards your goal? What the couldn't you say that about anything in this game? There are a lot of heists that can be completed in either loud or stealth. The level design of these heists usually favors loud gameplay, so it can be a little frustrating trying to sneak around a space that was designed for shooty-booty action. However, the game really shines when you play on some of the stealth-only levels. Murky Station, Yacht Heist, and Breakin' Feds are all great examples of solid stealth missions. But much like how Hoxton Breakout was a prime example of the game's best loud experience, I think that Shadow Raid is the crown jewel of Payday 2's sneaky escapades. The objective of the heist is to just steal whatever crap these guys have lying around, so there's no real objective location that you have to funnel into. There's a lot of freedom in how you want to tackle this mission in whichever way you choose. The whole layout is like a maze, with tons of little pathways and shortcuts that are all interconnected. The front entrance is always an option, but you could start off going to the left alley over here instead. Or you could go onto this building and do some recon. Or you could buy some thermite paste and take a path through the sewers. To make things easier, you can even purchase a little dumpster that you can just toss your bags into. I don't really know how that's considered stolen, but okay. And if you're super sneaky, you can even unlock the secret vault. Come on, man. Really? Anyways, I think you get the idea. If you've never tried stealth in Payday 2 before, I encourage you to give it a shot. And who knows? You might actually enjoy it. Did you know that Payday 2 has a story? I mean, if you didn't, I certainly don't blame you. For a long time, the game was basically just a random mishmash of whatever kind of crazy stunts Overkill had cooked up. It wasn't until late in development that they decided to assemble some of the game's narrative elements into anything coherent. And in the process of doing so, they decided to take the game's story to the absolute extremes. What was once a simple tale of a couple of guys wanting to get rich eventually became a full-blown conspiracy about secret societies and ancient Mayan crap. Even doing the research on it for the sake of this video, I couldn't understand the whole thing anyways. Every time Duke starts talking in the safe house, I feel like he's speaking an entirely different language.
I'm fairly sure now that Baldwin was a watcher, but I'm not sure which king he served. I think we can all agree that Kento serves the dentist, or rather, healer, as the texts call him. Pretty sure that Bane was next in line to serve the elephant,
Dude,
but obviously
what the fuck are you talking about? So, to say that Payday 2's story is simple would be as far from the truth as possible. It's convoluted, nonsensical, relies heavily on hidden lore and secrets, and has one of the most crazy methods to unlocking its true ending I've ever seen in a video game. With this in mind, I will now do my absolute best to explain to you the entirety of Payday 2's story. Once upon a time, there was a group of 4 men in business suits, Dallas, Chains, Wolf, and Hoxton. They went on to become notorious bank robbers, except they only ever robbed one bank and also did some other stuff or whatever. There was this one heist that took place in a hospital that was also in Left 4 Dead, where you steal a virus from some infected guy, but the developers were later like, nah, just kidding. So it didn't actually happen in either universe. Eventually, Hoxton gets captured and taken into prison. As detailed in the intro song to the Payday 2 Christmas soundtrack album, he ended up in the same jail cell as the guy who used to be their getaway driver but ended up betraying them. After that happens, Dallas and his crew were all like, man, fuck that, and decided to take a break until 2 years later when Dallas goes in to brush up on his heisting skills, which is where the tutorial heist took place. I guess you could say he pulled a Dr. Bones on that one. Then the gang gets contacted by this Russian guy named Vlad, who has them go and do minor jobs like jewelry stores and busting up a mall and going down to Long's Drugs to pick up his prescription, that sort of thing. Then Hector shows up and hires the gang for a few heists, one of which being watchdogs. Whatever. Where the cops are already waiting for them before the heist even starts, and it seems a little bit suspicious, but nobody really questions it, so whatever, I guess. Then this Croatian lady named the Butcher shows up and is like, I need you to steal a bomb for me, and also we get Master Chef as a new playable character? So then, there are 2 more heists in which we steal a bomb, but both of them are the exact same thing, but both of them are canonical at the same time, somehow, I think? Then Dallas goes to the dentist to get his teeth cleaned. There's nothing special about this part, he just has really bad dental hygiene. But then his dentist turns into Gus Fring from Breaking Bad and he's all like, I want you to work for me. And then he shows Dallas his get-out-of-jail-free card that he traded one of his railroads for. So then they go stop by Big Bank, then they do a sweet Hotline Miami crossover to kill this commissar guy, then they go get Hoxton back, then they steal a diamond, then they go to Las Vegas to break into Overkill's old development studio. They find this weird box with the Illuminati logo on it, but honestly it's probably not important until a few DLCs from now. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the elephant. The elephant is a character in Payday 2. He's just chillin', you know? Then you gotta go track down the guy who sold out Hoxton in the first place. Not to be confused with Matt, the dude I mentioned earlier who was with Hoxton in jail. He's still in there. You go to this house and, oh my god, it's Hector! Wowza! What a surprise! Then an ex-Yakuza guy named Jiro joins the crew, and he does so in search for his long-lost son, Kento, which makes him one of the only crew members to join with a motive other than just, I wanna make a lot of money today. Then there's a trailer involving the next new character named Jimmy, who's from a movie called Hardcore Henry, and if you haven't seen it, then his reveal trailer is gonna make absolutely no fucking sense. He sends us to a murky water train station to steal an EMP bomb, which is used to gain access to a secret laboratory in Russia so that they can, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea why they're doing this. Locke shows up in a spectacular fashion by using his elite hacking skills on CrimeNet to make the screen go all wavy, and he's all like, I want you to work for me. And then Bane goes, alright, cool. The Beneath the Mountain and Birth of Sky heists both involve Locke as the contractor, but these heists are also movie tie-ins with Point Break, but Locke isn't actually from that movie, unlike Jimmy from his movie, so it's just kind of weird that he's there. And then Locke tells the crew that Matt is out of prison now, somehow, and now you gotta go track him down, and literally the exact same shit that happened in the first game happens again, and even Bane acknowledges how weird it is.
I can't believe you're chasing this guy again!
Then Alaskan deal happens, and Locke says that you have to be there to oversee an arms deal with the Butcher, but then Locke betrays you both. Then we have to go steal a diamond we've already stolen before as an act of revenge or something. After that, the Sosa cartel starts messing with the Butcher's crew, so he's all like, I need you to kill Ernesto Sosa. So we do that, and he's inside of Scarface's mansion, except at some point, Overkill didn't pay the license renewal fee for Scarface, so you can't buy this DLC anymore, which means that none of this ever actually happened. Locke returns in the Reservoir Dogs heist, which once again is a movie tie-in that has no right having as much plot relevance as it does. You start in day 2 and then go to day 1 because they were trying to do the Tarantino thing. Bane gets captured by some guys and tells you to trust Locke again for really no reason at all, I don't know. Then you go to Brooklyn Bank to grab a medallion, then you go to Brick and Feds to steal a second Illuminati box, then you go to Henry's Rock to steal a third one, then you go to Shacklethorne Auction to steal a little Oreo cookie, and then you have all the shit lying around in your safe house and none of it matters because we're going to Hell's Island to rescue Bane. And so you show up and the dentist is all like,
If you want Bane, you can take him. But you will never understand the true plot of Payday 2.
He's absolutely right. I don't think I'll ever understand. And also, Jiro's son Kento is there, but he's a bad guy now, and he's infected Bane with the secret virus that we stole from the hospital in Payday 1, even though that was supposed to have never happened at all. And now Bane is slowly dying, but then when he gets to the roof, and then Bane kills Kento, and then he falls over, and then we rescue him, and then he's all like, alright guys, one more for the road. And then you go to the White House, and you steal these presidential pardons to exempt yourself from any past, present, and future crimes, which, by the way, is totally not how that works. And then you escape, and then Bane dies, and then everybody goes to Mexico for his funeral, and then they all toss in their masks, and then Dallas looks all sad, and then he looks at his own mask, and then he walks away, and then it slow zooms onto the grave, and that's the end. Psych! That's the wrong ending! First, you need to collect the MacGuffins I mentioned earlier, the 3 boxes, the medallion, and the obsidian plate. Then, you need to assemble all the parts into a little device. Then you need to go to Scarface's piano and play the keys in a very specific order. Go back to the plate and it'll show this alien language. You can press the use button to cycle through the messages it shows. There's 20 of them that get displayed at a time, and they correspond to 20 different Steam achievements that you need to earn in order to activate the secret. So you have to go through the process of translating all the messages and seeing which achievements you need to unlock. And trust me, this is the easy part, because once you have your list of achievements, then you actually gotta go and complete them. So, you get those done, then you go to the White House again. And then you get to this room with a painting in it, and you remove it from the wall and set up the C4 that is put into your inventory by God himself. And you blow up this wall to reveal a secret tunnel that leads into a mine shaft. Spooky, isn't it? So, you go down into this cave, and it leads you to a big old room, and inside the room is the Wheel of Fortune! You activate the wheel, and there are more riddles that show up on the outer ring of the wheel, and you gotta pull these levers in order to position the letters into the right space to solve them. There are also these, Arc Guardians? There are also these skeleton cloakers that show up and try to kill you. So you gotta pull these levers, and boy howdy, you better enjoy it, cause you're gonna be pulling levers for a long time.
I'll never hear those songs again.
And once you finally solve all of the riddles, and the door opens, then there's a... what the fuck is this?
Jimmy.
It's just the dentist.
I would suggest that you open this door, or things will go very badly for you. Then, I think you should stand aside and turn that machine over to me.
Fuck it, guys. Blow his fucking head off.
Did someone
That's for making me do this, you son of a bitch! Locke and Bane start heading down the hallway, and then... oh no.
The gold, friends. Get the gold to the center. Daddy, the whole place is either coming down or stacking up. Come on, move that, move that! Hurry, hurry! Come on, move that, move that! Okay, guys. This is where reality becomes legend. Yes, lightest crew ever!
After that all happens, Steam downloads an extra DLC called Offshore Payday, which contains the video file of the secret ending. It shows the crew hanging out on the beach, having a fun time. A bunch of the old story characters come over and congratulate the Payday gang on their success and whatnot.
Mi comandante. You guys no fun, fuck you.
They turn on the TV to watch the news, and there's the president giving a speech, and the president turns to the camera and he says,
America, let's do this.
It's Bane. He's the president. Bane has become the president of the United States. The Payday crew has stolen the entirety of America. What the fuck? So, yeah, that's about it. I know that there's a lot of things I hadn't covered, like Crime Fest 2015, or the content released after the resumed development cycle, or Goat Simulator. But I hope I painted a pretty good picture of what Payday 2 is like. Anyways, I'm going back to sleep for another 2 years. Wake me up when Payday 3 is done. Bye!